it's Pastor Dan from Dexter Gospel Church with another Proverbs Practical. Thanks for watching today. Our last video gave us a key way to tell who is genuinely faithful as well as a blessing of that faithfulness. This next verse reminds us that authority must pay attention for its power to have its greatest effect. We're in Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 8. Proverbs 20 verse 8 says, "A king that sitteth in the throne of judgment scattereth away all evil with his eyes." So the assumption here seems to be that the ruler actually cares about justice and right. It's a reasonable assumption since the king is writing this to his own son, and he's certainly hoping his son turns out okay. If this came from King David to King Solomon, it's a pretty good assumption that the king would care about justice and right. But the principle is even bigger than just a good king versus a bad king. The principle is that when powerful authority is paying attention, evil tends to scatter. When someone with the power to enforce the rules is staring at the people under the rules, the people tend to obey the rules. And people who won't obey the rules tend to scatter away, looking for dark corners to hide in or exits from the room where they won't be seen. So it's a reminder to those who bear the sword of judgment to be vigilant. The king would have to do a lot of things, and it would be tempting to be lazy or not even do all that he should. But whether from busyness, laziness, or complacency, he couldn't neglect judgment. When Solomon writes this, they didn't have a government as divided as ours is, with a judicial branch separate from a legislative branch, separate from an executive branch. They were all under the oversight of the king. He was involved in making the laws, involved in enforcing the laws, and the whole system. If he got so caught up in legislation and making laws that he never enforced them, or into leading the army so that he was never at court, or hanging out with his family so he didn't look into justice, well, evil would propagate right under his nose. And that could all be ended if he would sit down in judgment with some armed enforcers at his hand and start looking into things, digging into the truth of matters and situations, dispensing justice, punishing guilty people, protecting innocent people, and generally paying attention to whether the people of his land were obeying the laws or not. There's an old saying that people don't do what you expect, they do what you inspect. And this holds true in justice. A law unenforced might as well not exist. Whether we apply this as parents with our children, supervisors in a work setting, or government officials with laws, authorities with the power to enforce right and wrong need to pay attention to those under their authority. This will result in more peace and righteousness across the boards. Interestingly, a lot of the time you won't have to do anywhere near as much enforcing if you do a lot of observing. You notice that it's his eyes that scatter the evil, not his sword. It's the fact that he is scrutinizing, he's watching, he's paying attention to what is being done under his authority. So let's pay attention to those under our authority, whatever the setting and the context, and things will go smoother for each of our domains. I hope this video is a help to you. If so, give it a like and comment in the comments if you have something you'd like to share with us. We'd love to hear from you there. We'd love to see you in person here at Dexter Gospel Church. Until next time, I hope you stay well and observe those under your authority.